vacation today. And I have to worry about
There
driving.
we go.
Okay, so
That's why I'm usually not at this meeting. I'm here. But on finance committee, so I Zoom on finance committee. And I'm
your
like,
name again?
it's so difficult to make it.
He is from GOL, he's not gonna be on your list.
Okay.
He's my personal invite.
Okay. No, so you came here to take a half day.
Oh,
To get some information, but we'll have to vote in June. Yeah.
CHTRY.
Okay, thank you.
Bummer.
Yeah,
But that's okay.
well, we have a lot to talk about, and we just won't, it's possible we won't be able to vote.
Yeah.
Too many people are
Change the layout.
unavailable.
We're in a different room. I'm not sure if you find it this room
Yeah.
yet.
Usually it's the one, yeah, it's one of, so it's got the long tables usually
Yeah.
instead of the round.
They recognize you, Patty. We did the hard hat assembly.
Yes, we did.
Together.
Yes, we did. I tell him, I said, I need Darren to be my boss again this year. I wanna do traffic. That's where I go. I don't want a tour guide. I'll just, let me do my traffic thing.
Right.
I've had a bad run of it. We've been doing it since the inaugural first year. We've had a table as a business.
Yeah.
But 2 years ago as a trade show, last year my daughter went into labor, so I was there till like noon.
Yeah.
And then left to go
I
watch the
remember.
one granddaughter.
Well, we got a personal thank you from the commissioner
Ooh,
Nice.
nice.
for our Glow with Our Hands healthcare event.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
she sent it to me, but it's fine.
Very cool. I'm gonna be in Louisville this year, but I'm sending 2 people for our table. But I won't be able to.
We had a table the first year, and it's so funny, because Kelly, I was talking to Kelly about, I was just like, just see, I'm like, oh, you don't have anything they can really do with their hands.
Yeah, you gotta
Like,
be
I don't have,
interactive. and-
I'm like, so I'm in the one building, and she goes through, I go, thanks a lot. I go, you put me next to the guy who has the virtual welding, how cool is that? The other guy that has whatever,
Yeah.
like, they do the whole thing, and I'm like, and I got that, these are your filters, it's like, you don't even up, and I'm like,
Yeah,
this work. We can't really display, because we got nothing to bring.
well, that's what I mean, our injection presses are, the size of this table, I can't bring that, but I brought our quality coordinator, she brought like calipers and
Yeah,
different things for
yeah.
kids to do, I don't know, it's hard to be interactive for some things when you can't bring your equipment.
Well, I like the one, but I don't know who it was at the healthcare event, they brought this huge Jenga.
Yeah,
And it had, you pull it out and they had questions attached to it.
That's
that
cool.
They couldn't get a prize unless they answered the question.
no,
And, I don't think any of us knew any of what they were talking about because they were like specific.
Medical
Yeah.
questions, yeah.
yeah,
But that was a pretty cool, something different.
Ah,
Because they can't bring,
right,
all of their stuff that they get.
no, that's
so.
a good point, we
We
did.
had really cool pens, because they kept coming back and getting our pens, because it worked on the phones, they were all scrolling.
Oh,
back,
there
and
you
it's-
go.
So
There
you
you
got a
go.
cool pen.
There you go.
Take them away.
I thought about doing the stickers this year because the hard hats.
Yeah.
Put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the trade shows that I go to, we have swag for adults and stuff, so like we got a really cool pizza cutter, and I'm gonna give a pizza cutter out to a teenager.
Yeah.
Now you probably can't.
No, you probably can't,
They
you're
probably
right,
can't get back
it's
into the school.
plastic, it goes apart.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not so sure they can get back into the school with it.
You're probably right.
Well, and it's so funny because, even last year, I was up with Teresa and one of the other gals was up towards the front, and usually it's me and I know I've worked with them for years, I just went blank. But we usually do the bus traffic,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Well, we were laughing because Teresa's all of a sudden, I go up to get something and this guy is like, well, I wanna, kind of come in. And we're like, well, are you at school? No. And it's like, well, you really can't come in. This is kind of a, if you will, a closed event kind of thing. Cause I said, there's school kids here from,
Right.
He got really mad. He got really, really mad. And I had one little run-in with one bus driver from Elba. Because he kept going, he's coming and I'm going like, move over to the side so they can get off. And he's going, no, I wanna go this way. It's like, they're all over walking over here. You're not
Right.
driving a bus through here. School.
Good.
And he's just like, he's looking at me and he's being like obstinate. I'm like, dude, you don't have to make this hard. This is really easy. Just don't worry, I tell you to go.
We were the check-in people last year and there's bees nests all in that building we were staying.
Oh, gee.
Okay, you guys stand over there.
It was hot.
Yeah. A couple years ago, because we have rubber injection molding, we had a bubble gum blowing contest.
Oh,
So I bought a ton of bubble gum and we were timing them and how quickly you could open a wrapper, make a bubble.
There you
But
go.
then I got feedback that there were wrappers all over the fair. Like, we had good intentions.
Well, what, I can't remember which one it was, the first year when we were exhibiting, and I thought, oh lord, the cleanup is gonna be
Yeah.
horrendous. They had corn, everybody was bringing corn cobs around, and they were eating corn, ears
Wow.
corn. And I'm like, oh sweet Jesus. Where then you get the bees and the flies and stuff, I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, wow, it's like, yeah, that's not a good thing.
Anybody watch the Sabres game last night?
Yes.
My only positive take on it is we've avoided 4 more games of misery. I mean, they had a great season, they played
Exactly.
phenomenal, they had a lot of chances last night that just the puck, just that, their goalie
Yeah.
stood on their ear and
I
ours.
mean, 7th game overtime, what more could you ask for?
Yes.
You know?
I got to use those beer savers quite a few times this year.
I'm coming, yeah, trying to get back.
But,
Where am I going?
Yeah.
it's a good year for it. We'll see. It's nice to see, you know, a lot of. I was in Chicago for a trade show the week of May 4th. And, you know, I always have a Bills or a Sabres thing in the booth,
Right.
and everybody knew who the Sabres were finally.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you guys
Right.
map, you know who you are now.
Yes.
We weren't
Gotta
the
get
joke
those
of
Buffalo
the.
teams beyond that. They gotta get there.
I know,
Yeah.
right. Ugh.
Frustrating.
You see all those little kids beating up that. Toronto, or not Toronto, Montreal mannequin.
No.
Before the game started. Well, the Blade gang started a couple. The Boston series, and now it's just gotten a little out of hand, and all these little kids were like body slamming it. I mean,
At
announced
the,
it
at the.
at
their
Quebec
home
Center.
game? Oh,
Yeah,
last
Quebec last night, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, it was fun when, you know, they were actually mock fighting, but
Right.
now these little kids were just having at
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Everybody doing today?
They're in.
We're doing what?
I sit with my buddy Kurt.
There's agendas on the front table if you need one.
I printed them actually.
Anybody?
I
We're not gonna cover any of it, but we'll give you one.
yeah.
So it's a possibility, we'll have more. You printed it.
Yep. Yeah, I had a busy day, so I didn't prepare any report to give, so if I sit next to him and he gives a report from DOL, it looks like I'm.
There you go.
No, Darren, you gotta clear your calendar in July, that's just when you guys are coming to VMP, the ambassador program.
It's on my calendar.
That's
So,
me, so
it
make
is.
sure.
I will be there. Yours is one I won't miss. Yeah, I'm excited. We've got 3 teachers. One of them's from Albion. So I don't know where she lives, but like Albion School District. So, and I just hired a summer intern today too. I'm very excited about that. I've never had an intern before.
There you go.
So it is. I know, I feel like when I started to do some of the stuff, I was like, what was I thinking asking for this?
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes to delegate because it's like, you gotta get past the, like, I could do this quicker myself and you
Right.
gotta give it, you know,
Yeah.
our supply chain VP, it's like, you want the, Mike, you got 2 people that work for you.
But yeah, I'll bring my my intern out to see.
There you go, see?
Bring him on some of the visits.
Well, Jess had asked us about it a while back and, you know, we just things didn't jive up, but this year I was like, and our president goes, you want to, I go ahead. I'm like, okay, we used to, you know, we would do like leadership Orleans and stuff like that, but, yeah, so we'll see what happens. Hey, how you doing, girlie? Good. There's agendas here, can you? Oh.
Thank you. So efficient.
Didn't do it though.
Take the credit, go ahead.
I can't take credit, I'm in the Vanna.
Can't be vain unless your heels are at least this tall.
It's true.
How does that woman
Hello,
Hi Ken, how are you?
good, thanks. Didn't know if you could hear me. I'm off mute, good. Thanks very much.
No.
No, he's not, he won't.
Right now, the only three like actual members we have are me, Holly and Patty.
Yeah.
Like there's nobody virtual.
Yeah, because nobody's at the, they just elected location.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should make sure we announce that again.
Yeah.
Cause I wasn't aware of that.
Okay. I think we'll just go ahead and get started.
I agree. Yeah.
They can hear us now.
Hello, everyone.
Their meeting.
Thank you for joining us today. Can you all hear us? Perfect.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Norb is wearing two hats today and he has another obligation for another board that he sits on. So he has to be somewhere else at 5. Unfortunately, it looks like we don't have a quorum.
Right.
So we're not gonna be able to conduct any voting or any business. For those of you who aren't aware, and I was not aware until today, unless you are here at GCC or one of the 4 county or 3 county approved sites, you can't vote. You're not allowed to attend the meetings anymore remotely as we could do during COVID. So
Right.
attending from your cell phone or something like that won't work.
Right.
So I'll turn it over to Tracy, and we have a lot to discuss, but we
Yes.
won't be able to vote, hopefully we can vote in June when we go to dinner.
At the June meeting, because the June meeting, I'm gonna stand over here because I think you guys have to see me over here. The June meeting is only in person. We're not gonna have a virtual option because it's our annual dinner. So we're definitely hoping for a quorum. We're really gonna need one because we're gonna have to pass the financials for program year 26. We're gonna talk about that a little bit in a minute. But I want to stress to everybody to make sure that if you cannot come to a meeting at the last minute, within 72 hours, I need to know if you're going to be at your office. That so I can post that as a public location, so anybody would be able to go there to make sure that that is a public location that is acceptable. We don't want anybody's homes, anybody's cars. But if it's at your office building, that is fine, and then we can just use that as a public location. We'll just have to know who's in the room if people are voting, and so we can get them into the attendance. Now, for voting members, I want to make it clear that not everybody is a voting member. Obviously, our center directors who always come to this meeting, Teresa, Kelly, today Vicky's on, probably for Beth. They are not voting members because we contract with them. Christine, myself, and Michelle, we are staff, so we're obviously not voting members. Am I missing anybody else? Oh, CEOs, the CEOs of, and that means whether it's a county administrator or a county representative or the actual board chair or legislative chair, whatever it's called in your respective counties, they are not voting members either. It is the businesses and the mandatory DOL, the education folks, BOCES, GCC. So I just want to make that clear with everybody. Those are our voting members. We got some people in the waiting. We got Scott, so he's, let's see, Molly. In Molly.
Yeah.
I don't know what site that. No, because I think she only can stay on for a period of time. That's why she couldn't come. And okay.
Of course, there didn't have a stop. Here we go.
Yes.
And we'll make sure that we send this in a minute, like we'll do some minutes and we'll highlight what voting is, who can vote, and where you have to be. We'll make it very clear for everybody. I know it's changed and it is kind of confusing.
Yeah.
It really is.
But it's great that everybody comes.
Right,
Well, you want participation.
Yeah, absolutely.
right, yeah, it's especially at meetings like today. Our presentation is not gonna happen today. He had to go out of state unexpectedly, so he's gonna come back in September. And really what he's gonna be presenting on is another kind of training program. They're going to be working with GCC. They're going to be doing a partnership with GCC. The TAP program is, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it stands for. I totally forgot. There's a lot of acronyms. But ISA will be coming in September to do a presentation. And at that time, they will have their MOU with the college. So you'll know exactly how that works. Just to talk about various training programs. A lot of the training that they're doing is for that semiconductor technology that's coming out of the Syracuse area and going its way all the way from Syracuse to Buffalo. So it's going to be highlighting that type of training, which is going to create quite a few jobs. So we look forward to that. We're going to skip approving the minutes. We'll do that at our June meeting. We'll just hold them off. The finance meeting recommendations. We do have some budget modifications, which we're gonna approve at the next meeting. And Teresa, it was pretty much you, right, that had the budget modifications?
Yeah.
And it was small. I don't even think it was over $3,000, just moving stuff from personnel to other line items.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Correct.
But that's what that was. Finance committee did approve that and we'll just do final approval at June. The program year 26 renewals. We had a lengthy discussion in regards to
Trace, 2 more.
what, let me get.
So,
No, they're not gonna be counting, because some of them only have like a half an hour to join, so. So our discussion in regards to the finances for program year 26. Earlier today, I sent out the proposed allocations from the New York State Department of Labor. Those allocations came as a result of the TEGL, and the TEGL is pretty much the notification from the federal government to tell us what has changed in the policy, law, whatever they're issuing. This was the finances. We anticipated a 10% cut across everything in New York State. Now, New York, and Darren is going to help me a little bit on this because him and I were talking about this earlier. New York comes up with their allocation numbers based on unemployment rate, prospective long-term rate, and what was the other thing that we were talking about, Darren?
the long-term unemployed,
The long-term unemployed. Am I forgetting anything else?
yeah, it depends on the program. So adult and youth have 4 factors, and then the dislocated worker program has 2 primary factors, but there's 4 other smaller ones that
Right.
weigh in on the score like 2% each other.
Right. And I will send out that sheet with these minutes, just so you guys are aware of how the state comes up with their allocations. As you can see, we, in our region, got a significant cut to the adult and the youth, and a smaller cut to the dislocated worker. Having low unemployment rates is great, but did definitely affect what we're gonna get financially. And like I said, these are perspective, they're not the final numbers yet. But that's what we know as of today. Does anybody have any comments, questions? I also attached a perspective projected budget that Christine put together based on the cuts. Did everybody get a chance to look at that? And do we have any questions or comments on that?
Well, Tracy, the ones you highlighted in yellow, there were some substantial percentages.
Yes,
Yes, 22.1, et cetera, yeah,
yeah.
yes.
So it's definitely something we need to go back to counties, especially when it comes to personnel. A lot of grants, even the grants that I'm writing for, they come back if you have personnel items in there and ask, if we cut the personnel, do you still want the grant? The last one, that's exactly what they did. They took out all the personnel charges that I had on there, and they're just giving us, thank God, they're giving us funding to support our youth workforce experience program. And we got awarded 120,000, but it's just to pay the youth. So none of the back end of it, any of the staff time, any of that is going to be charged off to that. In a lot of grants, that's what they're doing. So I don't know if, counties are thinking about moving forward. How are we gonna allocate? What does workforce development offices look like at counties? I think maybe we need to look at doing some more partnerships with possibly the community college, because there's a lot of money coming into community colleges right now, a lot of money. I don't know what that looks like, but it's definitely up for discussion, because I foresee next year, what's on the table based on the big beautiful bill or whatever they call it these days, is all of our WIOA allocations are gonna be moving toward 50% training dollars. So that means right off the top, you know, if we get $1 million, 50% of that has to go toward training. And that means no personnel costs, 50% right off the top. That's the next move that we're anticipating.
And in theory, I mean, in reality, in theory, that seems like it would be a great thing.
Right.
However, with the requirements and regulations of the services that I have to be provided to those individuals, somebody has to do that work.
Right.
You have to have an office for them to go into. I don't know, when I look at these cuts, it's devastating to my department as a service provider. And I mean, absolutely reached out to the county and let them know what was happening. But with, you know, we kept level funding this year, which was what you requested.
Yeah.
Costs are not level. I have to absorb that somehow. And the amount of time that we're spending on WIOA services versus the amount of money that you're able to provide to us based on the allocations, it's just not staying level at all. And we're trying to pick up all these additional services that are taking tons of staff time so that we can stay afloat. And it's just not sustainable. It's just not. And I agree, you know, I reached out to my county because they're gonna have to make some difficult decisions at this point about whether they can maintain our office.
Well, I asked this before, but there's no partnership with like IDA. I mean, they're bringing businesses into the county, you need workers for the, you know, where they gonna have workers trained or come from. Is there any type of partnership funding we can do with IDAs?
I mean, I think right now everything's on the table. I think we really need to think outside of the box, whether it be partnering and funding from IDAs or colleges or other businesses. I think we definitely need to think about that because this year is our last year of before the RFP. So next year we have to RFP all of our grants out. So I don't know what the counties are gonna do. Are they gonna even respond to the RFP? And what is gonna happen then if we don't have any people respond to our RFP? How are we gonna allocate our funds at that?
Bring it back, when do we know that this is final? Like when does the state give us the final amounts?
Darren, do you have any idea?
It won't be for a while. It's contingent on when the federal government puts it out, but not until the fall. Because the federal budget year runs, you know, their budget year runs October 1st to September 30th.
Right.
But I will say, you know, I mean, we've been having these difficult conversations at this board for the past few years. Funding has not been getting better. It's been trending in the wrong direction. And the messaging that's coming from my leadership in Albany is blunt and frank, because they have no control over this. It's coming from the federal government, that this Title I funding, you cannot rely on it to sustain your operations. You have to look somewhere else to do that. Not a great message, but you know, it is what it is. You know, at the finance committee for this board the last couple of years and at the full board meetings, we've talked about the ARPA funding that the counties provided to the service providers. We were able to get incentive money, 2 different allotments of 200,000 each based on performance. If it wasn't for those things over the past few years, we probably would have been having these harder conversations back then. That kind of kept things afloat, having those outside dollars come in. ARPA is gone, the incentive funds are gone, so to speak. And you know, then you throw in this cut that is being passed down from the federal government, and it's not a good recipe. We don't know what the future holds, but I don't think next year is gonna be any better. If anything, it would probably be more of the same. So it's, a lot of difficult conversations coming. I know Norm said in finance committee, I'll just repeat it since he's not here. Told the service providers, you know, keep your counties informed. I know they are. That's really, the counties are gonna have to decide what they want these organizations to look like going forward.
When do we have to have the budget revised by?
Well, we have a proposed that I sent out, and that's the proposed one is gonna be the one that we're gonna vote on in June.
Okay.
Unless between now and then we get something different, which I highly doubt we will, that's pretty much what we have to go by.
Tracy, it's Ryan. If I could just add one thing.
Sure.
Every time, and I've been at this workforce development thing for 20 plus years. Every time, there's changes and things coming, we never know until it's final. And, when the youth 20% rule came out that we had to spend 20% on youth wages, when the final interpretation came out, it included staff time counting toward that. The 50% rule that's coming out, we don't know how that's going to be regulated, what the regulations are going to look like, but, certainly worst case scenario is 50% off the top. I'm optimistic that there'll be some flexibility in there that could include staff time working on trainings like it does in youth. But, we've just trying to be somewhat optimistic. We've sustained these cuts year after year, and we've found different pots of money, and we've continued to, maintain operations and actually train more and more people than we ever have the last few years through all these different funding sources. So every year when we think we've finally hit the wall and we can't do it, we find another pot of money and another way to do it. So I want to leave with somewhat of an optimistic message that this group of people that's been doing this for a long time has been very creative, and we found lots of solutions. We've all understand cuts are coming, and we've all been absorbing them for years and doing what we can. And, I can speak for Livingston County that we're going to continue to be a partner in this program regardless. I've talked to our county administrator. I don't know what that'll look like in the next RFP, if we'll be able to maintain staffing at the same level. But I just think, we've had threats of cuts and program redesign for years and years and years. And there's been a WIOA program or a similar program for 50, 60 years. And, although I do think it's trending in a bad direction right now, 2 years from now, it could be going in a totally different direction. So I think we just have to try and weather these, cuts, do the best we can to maintain our operations while we still can, look for new opportunities, and, try and remain somewhat optimistic that maybe there's better days ahead.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, this is Beth. If I can I don't want to speak for Vicky, but I know after we received the budgets today from you, Tracy, we talked a little bit amongst ourselves and talked with the finance department. With us being a nonprofit, I think we have some unique opportunities. We've got the CSBG funding. We are capable of moving staff around a little bit with different responsibilities. So we're looking into that. And there's, grant opportunities I know Vicky has gone after. So thanks, Ryan, for what you said. Appreciate those comments. And I appreciate the funding we've received from our county too, that has supported the agency. So, we're looking kind of at all of that as options and what can we come up with on our end. But I think we'll embrace this and do what we can and the best we can.
Absolutely. And yeah, I concur with Beth. I think that we have some flexibility to be able to work with this, and not only work with it, but still thrive with it. And we want to. So that's half the battle right there, is having the want to do it. So I think that we can work through it and make it work.
And this is Kelly Orleans. I'll just chime in too, and thanks, Ryan. Thanks everyone for comments. But Ken DeRoller, I think you can back me up on this. I mean, we've been having these conversations for several years already. Orleans County has really we've been thankful to have them step up as well. And we've diversified and moved things around too, like trying to serve the residents of this community as best as possible with that personal service that they need. So we also like to think that there's it'll turn around at some point, but in the meantime, I can't think of the phrase because I'm not feeling my best, but it'll make us stronger in the end. So
Thanks, Kelly.
I think from a business perspective, we've always appreciated all of you and you always seem to do more with less. So, thank you for all your efforts. We'll work with you as we go down this path and I know Tracy's doing a phenomenal job getting, grants and, you know, I know we can't vote on any of this today without a quorum, but, I do appreciate everyone's feedback. And, we'll continue to work together on this problem to benefit, the area.
All right, let's get to something more positive. We did receive 25,000 from ESL for supportive services. We're gonna be starting that July 1st. We're gonna go on the same timetable. This will cover daycare, transportation, clothing, food, any type of supportive services that our consumers need in order to help them get a job, move into the workforce, whatever that may entail for that individual. We also received 120,000 from the Community Foundation of Greater Buffalo. I received that official letter, I want to say it was this week. And that will be specifically for paying youth through the work experiences. So that is great, especially since 20% of our youth stuff has to be for work experience. So now at least we have some money to pay for that. I have also applied for 200,000 through United Way. I haven't heard back from them. They had a couple questions for me to answer this week. I answered them, so I'll see what they have to say next week. And I'm hopefully going to hit send on another grant through the Office of Cannabis Management. The state system has been just wonderful, me getting into all of these things and waiting for approvals.
Something bad. You don't just have to.
No, I'm gonna look at you. I'm looking at you. So hopefully I can get that sent by May 21st. If not, I have another grant opportunity that's very similar through a different office that I'll just take that information and apply for that grant because it's very kind of the same stuff that I want to apply for. Any grants that you come across, please send them my way. I will look at them. I have, I think, a couple more to write throughout the summer and the fall. I want to say I have 4 on my list right now. So I got a whole list that I sent to the directors today. I got a whole list that I'm gonna get monthly, apparently, all of these grants that there's a list somebody compiles and they're gonna start sending it out to all of the executive directors. So that's nice that I don't have to do my search. I could just look at that list.
Well, if I could just interject and say, I really appreciate the fact of all these, because I know, I've done a couple of grant things, they're no joke, they're a pain in the butt, and it's just sheer endurance of lasting through it, so thank you for enduring all of it. I'm proud to be, because I know it's sometimes the luck of the draw of the person who's approving it, it's the whole, the wording in your grant, you have to have so many different things in place, so thank you for enduring all of that.
I'm pretty low key. Ask Teresa. I'm just like, hey, can you come read this for me before I hit send?
It's great. Some of these gray hairs were sent to grant.
All right, so that's some good stuff. Our fiscal audit that Bonadio did is done, and we had one very minor finding. Kelly's already corrected it. No big deal. I think the other thing that was a recommendation is just watching our inventory, making sure that we're updating our inventory list. I have no issues with that. They're doing a great job in regards to how they're managing the fiscal. We're having our program audits tomorrow and Thursday, and I will just put it out there because they've already gotten all their letters. We have no findings. In regards to the internal program audit that Michelle did. It's a grueling process. It's a new process. But Michelle has done a wonderful job working with Barb in our Department of Labor folks. But there was no findings. All of the corrections were done before we had to issue the letters. And really it was uploading documents into the system, so we had proof that things were what they said they. So, you know, the centers are doing great work, absolutely. All right, our next thing is the on-demand occupation list. I sent that out. Did everybody get that? And I'm gonna, let's see here, I have it on here somewhere. Is it up there? All right. So I don't know how this works. So somebody help me with the previous years. We go through this list, right? Is this how we do this?
I don't think we went line by line.
Do we go line by
We
line?
can just
No.
ask you a shout out.
Yeah, does anybody have anything they want to change on this list?
All right. Thank God.
So, anybody who received this, if you have something, you wanna give us the occupational title and what you think our priority list should change to? I mean, we can't vote on it today.
Right, we can't vote on it, but we can at least have the discussion.
I'll do my, it's sunny and 80 degrees out. Anybody speak now or forever hold your peace? Any changes?
I do have some stuff from Kelly.
I was
Kelly,
gonna say,
since
I
you're,
emailed. Yep.
yeah, since you're sick, do you want me to just go through it real quick?
If you don't mind, that'd be great. Thank you.
No problem. So Kelly is saying that childcare workers on here are low priority, but it seems it should be a higher level, considering they're in a childcare desert, as she says.
Seriously.
Yes, so that's one of the things that I think probably would be a good idea moving up.
So, hold on, is that child, family and school social workers? Cause it says high on my list. Anybody else have
Childcare workers.
So that's a different one.
Probably daycare, childcare.
Probably daycare,
Okay, I'll keep looking.
yeah.
Page 3. Okay, I got it, Kelly. Page 3, you want the 39-9011.
Yeah, thank you. I was scrolling through trying to find it. Thank you.
Okay, so you want that one to medium or high? What's everybody thinking?
We thought at least medium.
Okay, well, we really can't vote, but we'll put through.
We'll put that on there as recommendations for next meeting.
Yep,
Perfect.
medium's
Yeah.
good.
Tracy,
Scott's raising his hand.
Scott?
I'm raising my hand. Tracy, for the neophyte in the room, can you explain to me or just maybe a little bit more insight into what is this list and what is it used for? How is it used?
Okay, the list is the on-demand occupations in the region. And this is how, through our, one of the things is through our ETPL, is making sure that they're fundable if training services are needed for these occupations.
Okay.
Basically, these are any of these categories, low, medium, or high, are the ones that we're allowed to submit for training for individuals that want this as a potential career.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
higher it is, the more likelihood they'll get funding, or?
No,
No,
So what does the
It
low?
doesn't-
it just has to be, it just has to be on the list as low, medium, or high.
But what does it matter what we have it grouped at?
it doesn't.
It doesn't really.
It just helps, it helps
We
us,
love our
it
state.
helps us to identify, and
Yeah.
I'm sure, you know, as a data miner here.
Okay,
Like you say, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's just if it's on there or not.
okay, so it's just our assessment of where the needs are in our counties.
Yes, yeah.
And it means nothing. Okay,
It's
does that answer your question, Scott?
The
Yes,
levels mean
yes,
nothing,
thank
but
you.
Having them on the list.
But,
means
but
nothing.
I mean, it's
spending
just on the
training
list.
dollars is the important part of it. You know, if it's on here, we can spend our training dollars on these occupations.
Molly has her.
I will
Molly?
say too, I don't know, Tracy, if you've used it this way, but like when we've written grants, we refer to this and say, hey, we're targeting these occupational titles because they're ranked this much and you know, it helps
Yeah.
with that kind of thing too.
Yeah, we will do that for grant writing as well.
Okay, so it's more important to make sure something's on this list.
Yes,
So is there any recommendations of things that we need to add?
we have some more, but I want to go to Molly,
Okay.
she's got her hand raised. Go ahead, Molly.
So that was what my question was are we open to adding a couple to that?
Yep, we're taking recommendations so we can have those at our next board meeting to approve when we have a
Perfect.
quorum.
Mall engine repair.
Okay. Kelly also put on here phlebotomist seems to be increased demand, so maybe at least a medium. I mean, they're at low right now.
That's 319097.
Thank you.
Also, computer numerical control tool programmer, CNC. 519162
It is not currently on the list.
is not on the list at all.
Correct.
We absolutely need to add that.
Yeah, we'll add that one.
Great recommendation, Kelly.
Well, is 51412 the same thing?
9162.
It is not the same thing, but they're related. Yeah.
Okay. So what are you proposing? Can you read it back? A CMC?
It's not on the list at all.
But what are you proposing? See it?
Computer numerical control tool programmer, CNC, to be added as either low, medium, or high.
Okay, got it.
Program.
Automotive service technicians and mechanics recommended at high. 493023. Oh, they have it at low, so we can,
Yes,
okay. Recommend, we'll bring that up at high, and welders, cutters. Recommended at high too, that's 514121.
Sure. Got it.
Okay,
I had a whole list on my desk and I forgot to bring it. I'm very negligent, but I know AI was huge on my list.
AI,
Anything related to,
yeah, there's a lot of funding right now I'm
Yeah.
seeing coming out for AI stuff.
it was, because I had to look those up because I don't even know what those careers are yet.
Right.
So I did do some research and I wrote down a few and I
Well, you can, what you can do is give them to us and we'll send them out with the minutes of these are ones that you recommend putting on the list, or at least, you know, having them in the low, medium, high.
Yeah, those simply should be on there. The
Yes.
problem is it's so new, like
is.
they'd have to fall into other SOC codes.
Yeah.
There's not any
Yeah.
AI nicknames in
okay.
there.
But making sure that those are in our demands, yes. Yeah.
There's a
And
lot.
cybersecurity, I know was on my list.
Okay, cybersecurity.
So 15-1152, computer network support specialist, we don't have a high or medium or anything. Should we add some, I mean, it seems like computers are constantly breaking down, so network support specialist is, we use them regularly at work, so is that something, do we need to at least put low on there?
We can put a recommendation that we could put low on there, if
Okay.
it's a high, medium.
Well, just if it doesn't have anything, but other towns
Yeah.
have found it to be important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any of the other ones that don't have anything on there, but I'm just curious, you guys do the day-to-day work. What about teachers? I see that they're a priority in the Finger Lakes. And I hear about a lot of retirements. Is that a high priority right now or not really?
I feel like you should always keep teachers on there because it's a constant ebb and flow.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, 10 years ago, or maybe longer, we were begging for everybody to go into teaching. Then all of a sudden it was like hard stop, no more teachers. But I think Kelly said it well, like even the childcare and the preschool, like there's so much need in the area and there are so many retirements happening at this point from that big push. I feel like teachers should remain. Because you never know.
The substitute.
I agree
I
that
agree.
teachers should remain, but I'm not sure that they should be on a high priority with all of the cuts that have happened in local districts. And I mean, there's just been so many, they've got to go somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
But in talking to the schools, I will say they feel like, you know, like I think Teresa was just saying, I'm not sure, the pendulum has swung way the other way. So they usually would get, let's say, 12 applicants and they're getting one. So, yeah.
Any of the other ones on here that I'm looking through, nothing really jumps out to me.
Well, if we're not gonna vote till June, can we leave it open for them
Yeah.
to email you and?
Yeah, everybody can email me if there's suggestions of ones not on here or ones that we would like to see on here. And then we'll bring it up as recommendations for our June meeting where we vote on it.
I will say a good tool for using this is a DOL has a projection site for all the occupations
Yeah.
and has salary ranges, number of jobs, number expected in between 2022 and 2032. So that's a good resource.
Yeah, and we'll send that link out
Yeah.
with the minutes so everybody can look at it. I was looking at it just the other day when I was looking up for this list, so. All right. Our June meeting, please, please, please remember to let Michelle know, because what's the date that we have to have the deadline to let them know how many people?
The fifth.
June 5th. We have to have everybody RSVP so we can make sure that the country club has account for dinner.
I saw the menu, you're not gonna wanna miss it. These ladies did some work on it, the menu's great.
Where is it?
At the Leroy Country Club.
Oh, it's Genesee here.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, plus you wanna make sure you have a form, right?
We need a quorum for the meeting.
Yes,
don't
we
have to
will.
bet, we're gonna get in
We have
trouble.
to have a quorum, yes.
Bribing you with food, show up.
Driving you. June 5th. Yes, June 5th. Because we're also gonna be talking about our election of officers. Are the current members gonna stay on? Are we gonna vote in new people? Do we have any new committee suggestions? And then we're waiting for our 80% obligation request waiver to come out. That hasn't come out, but I'm being told that it's coming out, so we can get that done. The last thing I want to talk about is everybody's getting the performance reports. If you have any questions when you get those, feel free to let me know. Sometimes they're kind of delayed because they are a month behind, and I'm getting reports from Christine and she's making sure that they're all accurate based on the previous month and what she gets from VODA. So if you have any questions, let us know. If you want to have, numbers, more current numbers, let me know. I can give you kind of a ballpark. But they are kind of a month behind because that's just how it works. I just wanted to throw that out there. Please, please, please go to our website. Our website has been launched. We're very, very excited about that. We have more changes for him to do. But now we're going to be meeting with him next week, right?
Next Wednesday, possibly, if he can make it happen.
Hopefully. So that way we can take over a lot of the updates, so it'll be more instantaneous and we don't have to have him do it every day. And that way we don't have $1,000 bill every month for him too. Because Michelle and I are also running, I'm running our Facebook page. She's running the LinkedIn page. Hers is much better because she's just putting everything on there. I go on there a lot and I take it and put it on Facebook.
I don't know if he's, Sean Pollock wrote in the comments that he's gonna be out of town for work.
Okay.
So yes, please, if you have any suggestions for the website, let us know. We've had some of our directors have looked at it, suggested some wonderful things to make it easier to navigate. So please give us suggestions on that.
So there's confusion. June 5th is when you need to RSVP for.
Yes, yep,
The actual date of the dinner or the
is the 16th. Yeah,
correct?
the invitation is with the attachment.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
So just by the 5th, let Michelle know if you can make it for the dinner and the meeting on the 16th.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have somebody in the waiting, but I don't
Oh.
know for how long.
Oh,
You were in charge of that.
I know, I'm sorry. They always interrupt you with it.
you should just run up here.
And Ireland. All right, all the action items are now is.
That's right, we're gonna have to do everything. So yes, please go on the website and let us know if there's any suggestions that you have on there. And I just talked about the letter, which we'll approve at the next meeting. Other than that, I thank everybody. It's great that we have so many people on. Unfortunately, we don't have a quorum because we're not at the sites. But at least we had great discussion in regards to the financials. And I think we'll get through it. We'll just, like I said, if you guys come across grants for me to write, or maybe I can have some of the center directors help write. We can have government or not-for-profit grants. So send both of them because we can write through Livingston County. I'm able to do that. I have access to that, or we can write through GlowWorks Inc.
Do you want to do a go around even though we don't have a quorum? Anybody have anything they want to?
Sure, I got nothing.
You guys, I want to start with on the screen up there. Anybody have anything they want to share from that's remote?
Hi, this is Ray from Independent Living. I want to share that we're having a resource fair in Warsaw on June 24th. It's for the community. There's going to be free cell phones, food, clothing, and it's going to be held at the Valley Chapel Church in Warsaw, June 24. We'll have a flyer that we'll send out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else remote that wants to share? All right, how about in the room here at GCC? Nobody from the Department of Labor? I was like, oh,
We're supposed to have a report ready.
it's sunny and warm out.
I just want to share real quick, we're coming on to summer youth employment time, although the funding has not yet been released. All of you businesses, I hope that you consider the potential of taking on, a youth who could potentially come and work for you, and you could provide them with great mentorship, and they could provide you with, some much needed labor for your places of business. If you're interested, reach out to any one of the service providers. All four of us, I'm sure, would love to place summer youth with you.
Outstanding. Patty, anything? Nothing. Okay, well, Norb sends his regards. He was, those of you who were sitting in the waiting room and we didn't see you and didn't leave you right away, we're sorry. But Norb had another board that he had to be a part of today at 5 o'clock. So thank you for coming. Hopefully you all can be at our June meeting so we can have a quorum and get some business accomplished. Thank you for all your efforts and for taking time out of your busy day. I guess without a quorum, I don't need to ask for anybody to recommend that we adjourn. And we'll just tell you, have a wonderful evening and we'll see you in June.
Okay.
Say go Sabres, but we're done for a while.
Yeah.
Good
Go Bills.
session.
Oh,
Good
Bill,
session.
they'll be coming up.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Good
Bye.
job.
Go to the beach. Go to the beach.